The Iron Curtain loved television. For those in charge, propaganda could be beamed into the minds of the public far more efficiently than with posters or radio, with most of the time the public being unaware of exactly what they have taken in. North Korea was and is no different. And at the heart of its broadcasts for over 40 years was one woman at the helm. This is the story of Chun Hee, the Pink Lady of North Korea. Her seemingly unending tenure as the newscaster for North Korea's most important news bulletins has overseen and outlived every leader of the dictatorship, and while many of the faces of Korean propaganda have come and gone, Chun Hee still stands. Known to the people of the Hermit Kingdom, and in many ways just as well known to the West, she is the voice of it all. She is the voice of Juche. Knowledge of Chun Hee's life before television is scattered about the internet, with only basic information confirmed to the public. She was born in 1943, 2 years before the end of Japanese rule in Korea. From her early life in the new Socialist Republic of North Korea, she would have witnessed the rapid growth and development of her country. The early decades of North Korean existence were in some ways better than the South's, largely in part due to the sympathetic Chinese and Russian governments on the border, supplying the country with resources in a way that South Korea simply couldn't have. Through the Korean brand of communism known as Juche, both development in approved arts and a worshipping cult of personality began to enthrall the public. Like a monarchy, the Kim family came to be treated as gods in their own right. In her 20s, she graduated from the Pyongyang University of Film and Television with a degree in performance art. From there, she was headhunted by the Korean Central News Agency, the only news agency allowed in North Korea. She rose through the ranks to become the network's central newscaster. Intelligence reports have suggested that the Chun Hee family had strong connections elsewhere. Others have alluded to the possibility of a friendship between Kim Jong-il, then the son of Korea's supreme leader, and Lee herself. Regardless, Lee was chief of the Korean airwaves for 31 years. Her role as presenter was defined by her cadence. To a foreign viewer, Lee's intense presence is a far cry from the traditional expectation of presenting news.
조선민주주의인민공화국 정부 성명 세용의 대륙간 탄도로켓 시험 발사 성공. 조선노동당의 정치적 결단과 전략적 결심에 따라 새로 개발한 대륙간 탄도로켓 화성 15형 시험 발사가 성공적으로 진행되었다.
A powerful, emphatic, and patriotic delivery was her hallmark. Arguably, one can see the performance art in her work. Every news item is a delivery akin to a melodramatic monologue. It was this stoicism that ensured the longevity of her career. As a result of this longevity, she was placed in the position of presiding over both deaths of Korean leadership. Both of these reports have been circulated in the years since, with Chun Hee's announcement of the death of Kim Jong-il being shared heavily on the internet. The Kim Il-sung broadcast, on the other hand, has rarely been seen by the English-speaking public. Only fragments of the Il-sung broadcast still exist. This tape, circulated on Japanese video sharing sites, is the highest quality copy freely available on the internet. What is clear from what survives of both is a powerful look into how North Korea treats and deifies its leaders. To the point of tears, Lee delivers the news that their leader has died. A leader that has embezzled, a leader that has killed many in the pursuit of personal happiness, a leader dedicated to absurd egotism. It very much reflects a state of national mourning and aptly demonstrates how the North Korean media has shaped reality. To the West, they have lost a tyrant. To the people that live within North Korea, they have lost a god amongst men. Even news anchors who are trained to be unemotional during catastrophes, and even an anchor as stoic as Chun Hee breaks down for the despot. Rather suddenly, after Kim Jong-il's demise, came an unexpected turn in the Juche story.
Well, for years, Chun Hee has been the face and a voice of the DPRK's state media. One of the most recognizable people from the DPRK, aside from government officials, Chun Hee says she is calling it quits, ending her career as a newsreader at Korean Central Television.
After over 30 years, she had announced her retirement. Many had assumed gravely that she had been vanished, like many of her colleagues. Officially, she had retired, but of course the validity of this statement was in immediate doubt. But to the surprise of many, she made a rather unexpected return.
조선민주주의인민공화국 정부 성명.
The launch of the Hwasong-15 missile, one that could have the power to reach and kill any American citizen, was enough to garner her return. She drew a greater Western audience than any of her prior performances. Like her reception in her homeland, she was viewed as intense. Unlike her reception in her homeland, however, she was the source of unintentional comedy.
La Corée du Nord de Kim Jong-un a procédé hier à un test de bombe hydrogène d'une puissance sans précédent, 50 kilotonnes. On sait que le Conseil de sécurité des Nations Unies réfléchit en ce moment même à une possible riposte politique. Et vous avez noté, vous, que c'est toujours la même dame qui vient à nouveau annoncer à la télévision nord-coréenne la nouvelle, soit d'un essai de missile, soit d'un tir de missile nucléaire.
Elle est le visage de la propagande et sans doute la femme la plus célèbre de Corée du Nord d'ailleurs. C'est toujours elle, Madame Chun Hee, qui apparaît à la télé officielle, c'est une chaîne unique évidemment, pour les annonces très importantes. Si vous avez entendu sa voix une fois, vous vous en rappelez forcément. C'est donc une grand-mère de 74 ans, mais surtout la voix du régime dont on dit dans les journaux nord-coréens qu'elle fait trembler l'ennemi.
Ouais, pour le plaisir. Tout en douceur.
On n'a pas traduit,
ça s'appelle
parce qu'on trouvait que c'était
susurrer à
voilà.
l'oreille du téléspectateur nord-coréen.
What we see from Chun Hee is an undying and total loyalty to the regime and a very strange case against the norm. Over the course of her entire career, unlike many of her colleagues, she has never been forced out of a position. She's never left the central stage of North Korean public life. Even outside of North Korea, this longevity is unheard of. Now in her 70s and partially out of retirement, she is now being used as a means to highlight the important developments in North Korea. Increasingly, the peace process with the West.
도널드 J. 트럼프 미 합중국 대통령 사이에
Maybe one day she'll even be the voice to announce the freedom and liberation of North Korean citizens. Whether or not that day may come, we're sure to see more of Chun Hee.